Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. Welcome back. Today we're here talking about a focus on employee development in order to keep those employees that we struggle so hard to get and now we want to retain. So welcome back. Hey JC, how you doing up there?
Wendy, I'm doing quite fine. Thank you so much for asking. It's a sweltering day out here in the northern end of New York State. If you're not aware, I go to the end of the street. I could see Canada, literally, and it's a sweltering 78 degrees out there right now. I go outside. I'm dripping, Wendy. I'm having a hard time breathing. Or maybe that's because I'm fat. I can't remember which.
I don't think that's the case at all. This world is changing quickly. And it is hot everywhere. It's going to be a rough summer, rough year, I should say. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about how the heck do we keep our employees at our company longer? And I thought we should really talk to an expert here. Ania Halama, did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Who is the founder of Xpansion Alchemy. Hey, Ania, how are you?
I'm doing well, Wendy. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the concept. You have a cutting edge platform designed to unlock the full potential of corporate teams through holistic personal development. Do tell, what the heck does that mean?
I know it's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes.
So we are an online holistic wellness platform in the realms of personal development, health, relationships, spirituality, and financial wealth. And I do say them in that order because I truly believe we need to start with our minds, then move into our health, into our relationships, then our spirituality, and then the finances come to us because everything else is aligned. So we've got 12 teachers on staff, each giving one live class a month in one of those 5 pillars. And we're just really here to change culture in the corporate environment. I worked in corporate America for over 10 years, and I was burnt out, as many people do get in the corporate environment, leading me to anxiety, depression, insomnia. I was going blind. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So much was wrong with me. And then I got on the personal development path and the spiritual path, left my job. In 2 weeks, I quit, bought a one-way ticket to Thailand, sold everything. And I've pretty much been on that one-way ticket. And I started, quote unquote, healing myself. AKA, I started meditating a little bit. I started going to yoga classes a little bit. But that's the stuff that it just isn't talked about. Wellness in that way is just not talked about in the corporate environment. And that's the stuff that leads to burnout. It's stress mostly. And once I started developing all of these skills, I was like, hey, if I can start feeling better, because Western medicine wasn't working for me anymore, why not help other people do it as well? And I want to reach out specifically to the corporate environment because that's what hurt me so much.
Yeah, that's where the stress is coming from, right?
Exactly. Goodness.
It really is. I hear you. Well, hey, congratulations on, making that realization and taking the ball and running with it and not stopping. I really commend you on that. I also hear that you're a best-selling author of the book Rebel's Guide to Spirituality, and that this alone has helped a lot of entrepreneurs. Tell us a little bit about your Rebel entrepreneur method.
So I've shifted things over. I've closed down that business. That was actually like a heartbreaking, like ripped out of my chest experience.
Oh my gosh. And we just brought it up.
No, you know what? Tell us what you learned about it, because I too have closed, I too have opened and closed businesses. And when I look back, I'm like, man, I should have done that sooner. I shouldn't have done that. But we learn. That's how we learn is
we do 100%. So the book is still it's on my website. You guys can still purchase the book. The book is fabulous. The book was actually mostly about my spiritual journey and my healing path. Me working in corporate America, leaving the corporate environment and healing just to get away from stress and burnout and all that craziness. But my business, I closed down. So I wrote my second book, Women Gone Wild, and I was on book tour. I came back from book tour and I got hacked. I lost my entire business. I lost my website, 300 pieces of video content I've ever created, 30,000 email subscribers, everything vanished overnight.
Oh, God.
I was like, Yeah, it was like I'm saying, ripped out of my chest, heartbreaking. But so I spent the next couple of months retrieving everything, working with IT, just trying to get everything back, which led to another 2-3 months of having a mental breakdown. Again, I was like, am I supposed to be doing this? Going into imposter syndrome? Should I be teaching this anymore? Like, what is the higher message? What is the silver lining in this? And so I did what I know how to do best. I meditated for 4 hours. And in that 4-hour meditation, Xpansion Alchemy came to me. And the message that came to me from that was collaboration, not competition. There's no need to build something on your own. Why not collaborate with other people and reach a much wider audience? Why not? Like what I teach, someone else might teach better, or someone else might teach something else. So why not collaborate and reach so many more people? In Xpansion Alchemy, I don't teach health. I've never taught health, nutrition. That's just not my expertise. But we do have experts that teach that, because I truly believe we need the full embodiment of ourselves in all of those little pieces of the pie in order for the whole wheel to be complete.
Burnout. 41% of employees report experiencing burnout, which is a major factor, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening, in turnover. Of those 63%, they plan to look for a new job within the next 3 months. This is according to Nectar Culture. 41% of employees report experiencing burnout. Tell me what you think about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's real, right?
Crazy statistic, but it's real. So what can we do to retain those employees? Simple. Install a wellness program. Doesn't have to be Xpansion Alchemy, just something that motivates your employees, that keeps them productive, that keeps them engaged, that you celebrate them. People want to be celebrated. They want to be acknowledged, and they'll do better. And once they're doing better, they won't have to look for another job. They won't want to, because they know that they're satisfied fully in the company that they're at, because they're getting acknowledged, they're getting recognition, they have different benefits. They're just fully happy, not only in their personal lives, but in their professional lives as well.
Yeah, there's so much turnover in all industries. I work across pretty much every industry, even if I'm dabbling a little bit. I do training. I train managers how to manage, but I'm not qualified to teach what you and your folks are teaching. The part of the holistic personal development is so like just Gen Z wants it. Millennials demand it. Gen X, which I am, we need it. We may not know the words, but so many companies just focus on, okay, you need this knowledge, skill, and ability, so that you could run this widget or use this training or use this software system. But we forget to focus on, hey, we need to help our humans that work with us through their personal problems too. What are your thoughts on that?
For example, I was giving the example of when I got my business hacked, I went through imposter syndrome. Most people don't even know that's a thing nowadays. They're like, oh, what is this imposter syndrome? It's questioning yourself. Like, am I worthy of this? Should I be doing this? Who am I to do this? Like, I don't have a Harvard degree. Who am I to do this? That's imposter syndrome. The second you start questioning those, and we've got tools inside Xpansion Alchemy that can help you get through that, plus more.
I think sometimes I feel like an imposter for sure. I'm a business owner. I am an HR consultant. I'm the HR lady. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm this, I'm that. I have to be sales. I have to be IT. It's so important to realize that we can do it all, but we have to ask for help. And that's where you came in. And that's where I loved what you started this podcast saying, hey, I don't have to do all these things. I could run this business and have people to delegate it to or to step in. We need to, in my opinion, we as entrepreneurs and as businesses, we need to act more like a community rather than competitors.
For sure. Collaboration, not competition, especially now, like women are getting on top. HR lady, we're going on top, which is great. But women are all about community. We want to support other people. We want to help other people. That's just our nurturing nature. Like that's what we want to do. We want to help others. So why not collaborate and bring it all together and help more people that way?
JC just shared with me a statistic, and I thought it was very interesting. about gender differences and imposter syndrome, that women are more likely to experience imposter syndrome than men, with 54% of women reporting these feelings compared to only 38% of men. Women often encounter imposter syndrome in professional settings, education, and social situations. And that's from The Independent.
Yeah, I think it's because, we grew up in a hustle mentality. That's the corporate world. Like, men can do anything. Like, men are on top. Like, they're great. And so men like get that confidence. Yeah, I could do anything. Like, what? There is no room for imposter syndrome. Whereas women are like put under the table. Like, they're shamed for getting pregnant, going on maternity leave. Like, they're shamed for so many things in the corporate environment. So, of course, imposter syndrome is going to come up.
Right. And then they wonder, whoever they is, but all of us wonder why women hide personal information from their coworkers and their managers and, even their HR department. Even if they're going through something like a pregnancy or an illness, they hide it because they don't want to be judged. That's the imposter syndrome, right? Am I on the right lines here?
Yeah, definitely.
So give me an example, maybe a success story that you may have had with your organization and helping it out. Male, female, any gender, doesn't matter. No names, please.
Yeah. So I'll give you a recent client example. I was working with a client and they were going through imposter syndrome. They were trying to get to the next level of management, going up the corporate ladder. And they're like, I don't know if I can do this. All of these roles have always been male and I'm a female. I don't know if I can do this, going through the whole imposter syndrome. And I'm going to give a quick example of what we did. We worked through the subconscious reprogramming, because all fears, all beliefs stem from our subconscious. So we used a tool called emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, which I absolutely love. And what it is we all have these meridian points down our bodies, similar to acupuncture. Acupuncture moves energies in our body. Instead of using needles, you're just using your hands to tap on these different meridians. So you would start off with a negative affirmation, like, I don't know if I can do this role. All of these roles have always been men. And I don't know if I'm good enough for this role because this role has always been a male dominant role. Moving into a positive, actually, I can do this. I am good enough. I've shown X, Y, and Z over and over and over to my company, to my employers, to the managers, and they've given me that recognition that I am good enough. You know what? I am good enough. So starting with a negative, going into the positive, but it moves the energy in your body and it completely reprograms your mind for what is truly possible.
I love it. Hey, JC, how important is training to employees?
Absolutely, Wendy. Thankful that you asked. 76% of Gen Z learners think that learning is the key to a successful career. And 59% of millennials say that learning and growing are extremely important when applying for a job, the most of other generations. Back to you.
So for those employers that are listening saying, oh, I'm struggling to retain millennials, I'm struggling to retain Gen Z, not only develop them for the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you need in your workforce, but go above and beyond and help them get out of their own way, and do so by reaching out to someone like the Xpansion Alchemy. How can people find you online, since you are a world traveler all over the place?
So I am on aniahalama.com, and in my company, Xpansion Alchemy. You could just go to xpansionalchemy.com, and then we're linked on all social medias on both of those websites. You can get all of the information there.
Oh, I got to share. I just Googled Ania Halama, and very first link was straight to Instagram. So I'm going to be finding her there. I'm dumb. And then your website's number 2. I'm being honest. That's how I'm going to do
it. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. We will make sure that Ania's information is in the podcast wording, and also a link to Xpansion Alchemy, which provides training to businesses on how to best utilize the post-pandemic and millennial workforce, and Gen Z too, with interactive and informative workshops. I do want to let our listeners know of one other resource as well. You can start your day with JC's Interesting Things with JC podcast. It's a really cool podcast. I learn something every single day. My jaw either drops going, how did I not know that? And I have 2 master's degrees. Each episode
away.
is only...
You don't have to do this. I'm hitting the microphone. I'm like Wendy. You're too kind. I appreciate you.
But they're very short episodes, 2 to 5 minutes. Find all on all the podcast platforms or at jimconnors.net. We hope this information has been helpful. Thanks for joining us and take care.